In the corner of a Wisconsin parade lineup, a rod knock announced the second life of a 1980 Pontiac Trans Am. What followed is the story of a teenager's first car rebuilt into a 932 horsepower supercharged pro touring missile nicknamed the Bird. Built in Brad Riekkoff's own shop, West Bend Dyno Tuning, this carbon fiber Firebird has chased down ZR-1 Corvettes at Road America, clocked 160 miles an hour in fourth gear, and still idles like it's stock. The story starts in 1991. 16-year-old Brad and his stepfather Ike Roll walked into a Jefferson, Wisconsin car show and found this Trans Am sitting on a trailer with $2,500 scrawled across the windshield. It was an Oklahoma car, solid body, loud exhaust leak that turned out to be hiding a rod knock. They split the cost, dragged it home, and that single broken engine launched Brad's lifelong career in performance tuning. The Kewaskum Indians parking sticker still lives in the rear window today, exactly where he put it 33 years ago. Brad and his stepfather built engine after engine through high school, dropped in a Turbo 400, installed 411 gears, even bolted on a nitrous kit. But after graduation in 1993, Brad had a Blazer he was daily driving and couldn't afford both cars. He sold his half of the Trans Am to his stepfather, who pushed it into deep storage. It sat there from 1993 until 2010, wearing the same high school parking sticker, waiting. When Brad's shop finally pulled it out 17 years later for a 4th of July parade, he burned it down on the way home and threw yet another rod. That rod knock, ironically, was the catalyst. Modern LS swaps were finally mainstream, and the team at West Bend Dyno began the most ambitious build the shop had ever attempted. What you see here is 3 years of fabrication, over $125,000 in receipts, and a Trans Am that now shares almost nothing with the car Brad bought as a 16-year-old kid. At the heart of the build sits a Wegner Motorsports 416 cubic inch stroked LS3. On pump E85, this engine makes 932 horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 938 pound-feet of torque at 4,200, all measured at the flywheel. Wegner started with a Callie's Dragon Slayer crankshaft, ultra-connecting rods, and forged Molle pistons, then capped the short block with fully CNC-ported LS9 cylinder heads, breathing through in-canal stainless intake and exhaust valves held down by PSI valve springs. The bottom end is fed by a daily engineering dry sump system using Roots-style scavenge rotors and spur gear pressure sections, far more efficient than a traditional wet sump. A massive AFCO aluminum radiator and twin electric fans keep water temperatures in check, no matter how hard Brad leans on the throttle, whether it's a cruise night or a hot lap at Road America. Feeding that motor is where things get serious. A Lysholm 3.3-liter twin-screw supercharger sits on top, driven by a custom front drive system that Casey at Wegner designed and machined from scratch. Because nothing off the shelf existed for this combination, the Lysholm accepts 4 different upper pulleys, giving Brad 4 distinct levels of boost he can swap between for different tracks, different events, and different fuels. On the fuel side, Aeromotive supplied a speed controller and an eliminator pump custom-mounted inside the stock tank, which keeps the factory stealth factor completely intact from the outside. Fuel injector connection provided enormous 127-pound injectors to keep up with the E85 appetite of the blown motor. Ignition duties fall to a race-proven MSD system with custom timing tables dialed in on West Bend's own chassis dyno. Spent gases exit through Stainless Works long tube headers, feed into custom bent 3-inch stainless pipes, and finish at a pair of Borla mufflers, producing a sound that rattles windows blocks away and turns heads at every stoplight. Wiring is a combination of SpearTech and painless performance harnesses, cleanly routed underneath carbon fiber inner fenders that Brad and Albert Melchior at Carbon Customs fabricated from scratch specifically for this car. Every bracket, every coolant line, every hard fuel line, every vacuum hose was designed, bent, and finished one-off for this engine bay. Look at the braided stainless plumbing, the West Bend Dyno logo laser-etched into the engine plate. This is a shop showcase, not a bolt-on build. With over 900 horsepower on tap, the drivetrain had to be absolutely bulletproof. A twin-disc center force clutch on a matching center force flywheel lives inside a QuickTime steel bell housing. Behind that sits a strengthened T56 6-speed manual pulled from a 4th-gen Camaro, with internal upgrades to handle the torque and a Hurst short-throw shifter up top. From there, power travels rearward to a Mark Williams chromoly driveshaft into a full-floating 9-inch Ford rear end built on a strange engineering aluminum center section, spinning 35-spline Moser axles out to the tires. Brad can slam the Hurst into any gear at any speed, and it simply obeys. And he swears he'll never go back to an automatic in this car. Holding all of this together is a Heidts Pro G front subframe with Heidts arms and spindles, Mustang 2 rack and pinion steering, and a Heidts 4-link in the rear with modified mounting points for extra shock stroke. AFCO double adjustable coilovers live at all 4 corners. Stopping power comes from Wilwood, 6-piston calipers on 14-inch slotted rotors up front, 4-piston calipers on 13-inch rotors in the rear. The rollers are forged Formula 43 Rad 10 wheels, 18 by 10 front and 18 by 12 rear, wrapped in BF Goodrich G-Force rivals. The body is where the story really comes full circle. Albert Melchior at Carbon Customs supplied custom carbon fiber doors, full carbon front fenders, and carbon fiber inner fender structures, a swap that shaved over 150 pounds by itself and completely transformed the front-to-rear weight balance. The stock 1980 Trans Am turbo hood bulge was cut apart and enlarged in-house at West Bend Dyno, specifically to clear the massive Lysholm blower sitting underneath. Jeff Miller at Boyd's Classics, right there in Kewaskum, performed all of the final bodywork and laid down the paint. A 10th anniversary-inspired scheme with exposed carbon fiber weave flowing across the hood graphics, the wheel faces, and repeated inside the engine bay. Randy Greminger at Trendsetters printed the custom 2-tone door stripe that lists every single supporting manufacturer on the build, stretching from the front fender all the way back to the rear quarter panel. The raised shaker scoop reads Supercharged 6.3 in period-correct lettering. The Pontiac arrowhead still sits on the nose, exactly where the factory put it in 1980. The fuel filler cap is custom aluminum, and through every panel gap, every weld, every paint edge, you can see the kind of precision that only happens when a shop is building a car for itself, with no customer deadline and no compromises. Pop the door and the theme continues everywhere you look. A pair of Sparco Evo fixed-back racing seats replace the worn-out factory buckets, bolted through a 12-point roll cage fabricated by Nick Gaylord at Top Line Design and Speed. The cage is built so tight to the original body lines that the factory T-tops still lift out and stow behind the seats, just like they did in 1980. ACE upholstery stitched fully custom door panels and a matching rear bench to complement the Sparcos up front. The entire stock dash is gone, replaced by a custom fiberglass shell filled with autometer gauges arranged like a fighter jet cockpit with a main tachometer and speedo dead ahead and secondary gauges fanned out to either side. A Sparco suede steering wheel sits on a quick-release hub for easier entry. The Hurst shifter with the white cue ball knob rises straight out of the carbon fiber skin transmission tunnel and connects you directly to the T56. Carbon fiber accents continue across the dash face, the center console, and even behind the gauges. It's a purposeful interior, built for real track days, comfortable enough for a long Sunday drive, and stripped of every single unnecessary ounce. And from the driver's seat, if you glance in the rearview mirror, you can still see the high school parking sticker on the back glass. Brad never had the heart to peel it off. He says it's the only piece of the original car that's still in its factory location. Since the build wrapped up in 2013, Brad has run this Trans Am exactly the way he always intended. Hard, often, and everywhere he can find a track or a back road. He's put up respectable showings at Optima Streetcar Challenge events around the Midwest. He grabbed an overall win at the Heidts Performance Challenge held at Autobahn Country Club in Joliet, Illinois. And at Wisconsin's famed Road America circuit, he's been clocked outrunning ZR-1 Corvettes through the fast corners and in the braking zones. In top-end pulls, he's touched 160 miles per hour at the top of fourth gear, with fifth and sixth still in reserve. Around 160 to 170, the nose starts to lift off the pavement. Brad says the car is asking for a proper front splitter, and that is the next upgrade sitting on the fabrication bench at West Bend Dyno right now. Every time they run it, they make small changes, and every time it goes a little faster. The engine has more left in it. The chassis has more left in it. The driver has more left in it. This isn't a trailer queen. This isn't a Barrett-Jackson cruiser. It's a shop test car, a product development platform, and a legitimate Sunday driver all rolled into one carbon fiber 10th anniversary striped package. It's also living proof that sometimes the car that nearly broke your heart at 16 is the exact same car that ends up defining your career. Brad bought the Bird for $2,500 in a handshake at a Jefferson swap meet. 33 years, over $125,000 in receipts, 3 engine rebuilds in high school, 2 more as an adult, and 932 horsepower later, the Kewaskum Indians parking sticker is still right where he stuck it in 1993. And the Bird is faster, meaner, and more refined than it has any right to be. If you love the story, love the build, love the supercharged LS under that carbon fiber hood, or just love what a teenage obsession can turn into when you pour 30+ years of your life into it, do us a favor and smash that like button. Drop a comment below telling us your favorite detail on this car. We read every one. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the next Restomod build we dig up. This has been Restomod Muscle Car Finder. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.